like even in the digital sphere, like even even AI rappers are harassed by police.
AI rolls out, it becomes this like readily accessible commercial technology. And of all the genres, the first one where we have AI songs going viral is hip hop, right? Like, why is it hip hop where AI gets automatically applied? Why is hip hop the pioneer here?
Who in my position didn't imagine that once we got AI, or once we got like augmented reality, or once we got, like digital avatars, that there wasn't going to be a crisis of digital blackface? Who didn't imagine that that was going to happen? Because that's the whole history of this country. If you have pop culture that's like deeply steeped in white folks dressing up as black folks and then acting the way that they think black folks act for each other's entertainment, and then telling black folks, well, I see you performing it, but you ain't really doing it in an authentic way. And so we'll continue to have people dress up, or we'll hire people who do it the way we think it should be done. Well, now you can just program that. And so like, if you can get code that does the performance of blackness that lots of people believe is authentic and is real and that they want, and then you don't even have to have black people. And so I think that this is precisely the same. And so of course it's going to be someone imitating Barack Obama's voice, or somebody imitating Drake's voice, or somebody imitating generally conceived hood black accent. And then putting, an avatar together that has dark skin and has locked hair, and then putting the digital avatar in a situation, in a scenario where it experiences police brutality, because like, won't that make it even more resonant with the communities that we are trying to portray this message to? That like, even in the digital sphere, like even AI rappers are harassed by police. And I'm saying that that's the reality right now. That was the thing that happened with the FN Mecca character.
I'm not familiar with FN Mecca. Can you tell me what that is?
Yeah, FN Mecca was the first, I want to say first, like augmented reality rapper that was signed to a major record label, had all kinds of streams on TikTok and mad followers. And I think it was Capitol Records that presented the contract, signed the deal, and then come to find out that there was a black guy who was involved, who was a rapper, and they kind of like based his appearance a little, his voice off of this guy. After the backlash, then Capitol backs out of the deal, and grand opening, grand closing.
It's funny, like there's an interesting parallel here, right? Like I bet the people who make these AI tools would say that it's similar to sampling, right? We're taking something that exists and we're just using it in a new way. 20 or 30 years ago, Two Live Crew was saying like, well, we shouldn't have to pay for this, right? We're just taking something and using it as parody or it's something else. Could you compare for us the different considerations with sampling and AI? Because there's some ways that they're similar, right?
I think that like maybe the arguments that people make are similar, but I mean, again, I think that there are probably lots of artists. It really is about who gets exploited, like the vulnerable people who get exploited, and how those people, regardless of whatever the laws ever said, like those people were just overlooked. And most of the time, like in that history of those laws, it wasn't like those laws were being made to protect the most vulnerable people that were being exploited. They were used to protect the people who probably needed the least protection, and they were able to say, okay, I'm gonna fight this. I'm gonna make sure that you can't make anything out of what I'm doing, even if it is a transformative use. But I don't know that AI is looking at transformative use. Like, I'm going to turn the thing you had, I'm going to use that as the color palette or the sound palette, and then I'm going to take pieces of that, and then I'm going to make a different painting, or I'm going to draw a different thing. I'm going to make something else. Like, I'm going to transform it into a new thing. If it is, AD, I want you to say this, and I'm like, no, I don't say shit like that. And then somebody's like, oh, well, we've got enough of you talking so that we might be able to make a bank, and then we can reproduce your voice saying the thing that you wouldn't say. But I'm right here saying I don't want to say that. And if you make something that makes me say that, and that makes a whole lot of money for you, because I said no, now I don't have no right to none of that. Like, my voice is just out there for you to use whenever you want it. But I think that this is a lot bigger and a lot messier than the thing that might make a clean analogy. And so it really kind of contingent, it depends on what people are using this new technology for, how it maps onto that history. Yeah, I think that there are have been and continue to be lots of different uses for samples. And the easiest one, especially to pathologize and to invalidate hip hop artists or as musicians, has been to say they're not doing anything original, that they're just like, it's all derivative. It's all like, all they're doing is taking someone else's music and then replaying that music. But we all know that that was a lie. And we also know why that lie existed. And it was to make sure that those folks couldn't claim the status of, art. And even still, as we understand it, that's an argument that I hear all the time in my job, that people are saying, well, like rappers are not artists or hip hop artists are not artists, that they're all thieves or whatever. And, that's just racist. It's just racist scapegoating. It's rap washing. It's all garbage. And they know that that's the argument that they're making, but they continue to make it because there's a public that wants to hear that argument and wants to entertain it because of the arguments that have been made that have like sort of fixed along these racial lines.